Good morning, everyone. Happy Sunday. This is Catherine, and it is time for the guidance of the archangels in a little bit of a live session here that is spontaneous. I wasn't sure if I was going to go live or not this weekend, and I decided yes, because this is one of the things I love to do, is be able to jump in and truly use the law of attraction for what it is. Graham, I'm so glad to see you today. And so, what time is it where you are? It is 10 o'clock a.m. here in Tennessee. And I'm here to do guardian angel readings for us. So, as I get started, I want to introduce myself. I'm Catherine, and I do readings at Tarnished Angel Tarot. Thank you, Graham, and who's calling, I think, is visiting from Scotland, which is so cool to me that through YouTube we can meet people from all over the world. I need to get a piece of paper so I can write down people's names when they come in for readings. But my main goal is connection, sustainable connection. A lot of people who come to my world are lonely and they're looking for love. This has been happening to me for my whole life, and especially now, I think, because after COVID, everybody was so closed in, and there's like social awkwardness that was part of life before we all got closed in. And now, how do we go forward? How do we get back out there and take the risks to get connected? So I find that the word soulmate or true love, good morning, Raymond, soulmate or true love, those kinds of terms can be frustrating when you are in an isolated situation, or if you're shy and it's hard to figure out how in the world you could get out there and meet somebody. So I like to use the words sustainable connection, because that can be true across all of your life categories, your friendships, your family, and your soulmate. Because when you have a sustainable connection, it fulfills your life in deep ways. Now, right now, I can tell you that my most sustainable connections are my dogs, because they've traveled with me and they're my security, and I adore them. You know, they're very, very good for my life until they're not, because sometimes I have to watch that I don't prefer animals to people. So I call myself, what I call myself is neurodiverse. And I didn't think, I didn't know I was going to say that this morning, but neurodiverse is a person who has a brain, the way the brain works. Hi, Jahan, welcome back. How the brain works to process emotions and information. So my brain doesn't work quite like other people's brains in my family and even with my friends. And so I took a quiz, actually. It's online. I can even share it with you if you guys want that information. Because if you're a neurotypical person and your brain processes love and emotions and friendships in a typical way, you're going to fit in with more potential partners. But if you have a neurodiverse brain and you look at life differently, you may find a smaller pool of people to get connected to. Okay, so that's why when we do work like this online, where it's just random that you all happen to find this reading today, I tend to gather like-hearted spirits, Raymond. So I'm glad you're here. But what I want to do on these videos is prove to you how thank you, John. Yes, I'm doing just great. But I want to prove to you how this, what I call horizontal gravity, this human magnetism works. Because if there is a universal way of doing things, and if there's a way to plug in to something that will guide us, what better example than to have you randomly online right now and you happened into this reading? So you are going to find, as I draw the cards, that you will resonate with more than one card. That's okay. It's very common. Birds of a feather flock together. So I'm going to do readings here. I'm going to start off with a reading for the collective, for everyone that will be listening to this reading later today. And then already I have 3 people, so hang in there. I'm going to do readings for each of you. And if you can hang in there throughout the whole video, fantastic. You may find yourself getting 2 or 3 angel messages that really match. Thank you for that long intro. Okay, so let's get started here. And I'm going to set the intention that we learn through these cards today how we can become more connected in sustainable relationships out there, whatever they are, family, friends, lovers, enemies, whatever. But we want to feel sustainability. That's our intention. So, Archangels, what do you have for us today? If you've just joined, gosh, thank you so much for visiting. Be sure to hit the thumbs up so that YouTube understands that y'all enjoy the live readings, and thumbs up also shows me that I'm on the right track in bringing you what it is that you're wanting to learn about. So this is our first card, and this is for the collective. And we're looking at Archangel Azrael. Now, when I get finished doing the reading, I'm going to timestamp all of these cards. So if you review it, you'll be able to find the cards that were your own. But this is so true for me with the people who come into my world. Many people come to me because a lot of people have been asking them for advice. And they feel a little bit under equipped. It's like, well, who am I to be giving advice? Let me tell you who you are. You are a survivor. You are a dreamer. You are somebody who has not given up. You are somebody who your people in your world, there's people that watch you and you don't even know it. They see your strength and your courage. They see you have grace under fire. And they want to ask your advice because something about what you're doing in your life impresses them. Many years ago, when people started asking for my advice, there wasn't even the internet, not to date myself or anything. But we have advanced so far that even if you put a comment on a video on YouTube, you never know who will read that comment and feel inspired. So I would say for the collective, this is a reminder that you are a counselor and friend to people. However, look in this picture closely. Can you see the figure behind? That's a representative of your inner being, the part that's connected to the divine. So as you comfort people, know that it's not just you, something's coming from you. Okay, that's what an awesome card for the collective today. So I'll set that right there. And then let's move on, and we're going to draw a card for Graham. And what do you have for Graham today, Archangels? Often you guys are going to hear me say this a lot when we do these readings because I heard somebody else say it and it made so much sense to me. And that is that the archangels are not impolite, they're not rude, and that they will not just stick their nose into your life without you asking. So many people tell me, and I know it's true myself, when you're in a jam, just ask the angels to help. It's as simple as that. Just say it. Angels, I need your help. And for sure, you will have some sort of nudge, some sort of being in the right place at the right time experience that'll let you know everything is going to be okay. So, Graham, let's take a look at this card and see what we have for you. And today we have the beautiful Archangel Haniel. And I have a feeling, Graham, because you have been watching these readings for a while now, and I have a feeling that there is a soft side of you, a part of you that, gosh, you might be oversensitive to loud noises, or you might be the kind of person who doesn't feel comfortable in fluorescent light. There's certain sensitivities in the environment that can make you feel uncomfortable. And especially like if you move into a new environment and you are, hi, R. Fleming, welcome back. If you are feeling like in your new spot, you're feeling a little bit sensitive, take a look at the environment itself. Can you have a different sort of lighting? Can you change where you sit? Because these kinds of things may give you some wisdom about how you process a new environment. But don't be afraid of embracing your soft side. As we said in the first card, and about how Oh, thank you, Raymond, because it's true. Being outside, even on a cloudy day, I just recently heard some research that especially on a cloudy day, we need to be outside and turn your eyes toward the sun, toward the sky. Let the light of the cloudy sky light up your eyes. Okay, cool idea, huh? But at any rate, it's interesting here that the sun doesn't seem to be out on this card either. So I would say that Archangel Haniel is here to support you if you're feeling a little oversensitized, Graham. Okay, in them. Oh, isn't that interesting, Graham? Okay, so in that case, the card is definitely supporting you, right? And also sometimes this is true for other people too, like in your work environment, if things are not comfortable and either noise or light or something like that is bothering you, you may need to speak up. However, if you kind of have a shy personality, or you feel a little bit like you don't want to trouble anybody, you might not. So definitely, thanks for that confirmation. You're welcome, Graham. Okay, so our Fleming, I have to write down the names of everyone who's here so I make sure I draw the cards. Hi, Topeka. How are you? Welcome. So, what do I want from you? I'm giving you these readings, which I love. What you can do for me, hit that thumbs up. Let me know. That's like a hug. No kidding. When you guys hit the thumbs up, I feel goosebumps. Right? Just telling it like it is. And the second thing is that my Etsy shop, there is in the description and the about section. If you want to take a look at the readings that I do, I offer a special gift for my friends here in the live. And all you have to do is use the code word angel. And when you type that in, you'll see a very special gift that I have for you for coming and spending time with me. Okay, so let's see. Now, next we have Raymond. And Raymond, who knows the power of bright light, and it's true. We need light, especially in the winter. So, Raymond, what is the Archangel card for you today? And look at that passion. Hi, Topeka. I see your question. I've got your name on the list. It'll be there shortly. Okay. Um, Raymond, ah. So what I feel that Archangel Haniel has for you today, and interesting, it's the same archangel twice. Okay, so I would definitely Google Archangel Haniel on after we get off the call because I want you here with me. But I would take a peek and see what you find, what you learn about this archangel. The first thing that I notice is that she is holding something close to her chest, and it looks like it's almost looks to me like a jewelry box or a treasure chest of some sort. So what I'm thinking, Raymond, is that there is something inside of you that needs to be released. It's perhaps something that you dreamed of doing when you were younger, an idea maybe that somebody might have criticized or said, oh, that could never happen. But there's something in you that's like an egg that's like wanting to be hatched. So definitely, as you look back, one of the good things to do is go back in time to maybe when you were between the age of 10 and 12 and think to yourself, what did you love to do? I mean, me personally, I love to climb trees. I was in any tree I could find. And even now, walking in the woods brings me such great pleasure. So I have a feeling that there's an idea that's locked up within you that has been gestating, is ready to hatch, and that when that passion comes to life, it's really going to have a great impact on every dimension. Okay? So there you have it. Also, if you see these readings and you're thinking, gosh, I want to have one of my own, doing private readings is something that I'm still doing. I don't know how long I'll do them as I get busier. But if you're interested in that, you can simply leave a comment or you can email me, tarnishedangel.com@gmail.com. Okay, thank you, R. Fleming, because it's true. Hitting the like button is like a hug, and I appreciate it so much. So the next card is for Jahan. And Jahan, let's grab which archangel? If Archangel Haniel comes on the third one, I will be laughing so much. So you're welcome, Raymond. Okay, and we have for Jahan, Archangel Uriel. This is a wonderful, wonderful archangel because here's the deal. We have a source of this. Okay, may I say this is my own beliefs. Those of you who find my call, or I say calls, but if you find the video, chances are that you resonate with some of the same ideas about spirituality as I do. So, but when I say the things about spirituality, I don't want to offend anyone. And I believe there's many, many different ways to look at the divine and to look at God. That's why I love to do work with the angels, because most religions in the world respect angelic wisdom. But so I believe that deep in the core of everyone is a source, like a river of life that's like keeps us alive, right? There's no electrical cord fastening to me to the wall. I don't have a battery that I have to change. There's some kind of life force within me. And that the core of that life force, when I can touch base with it, that's what I call my inner being. Many of you know that I enjoy watching Abraham Hicks, and they teach about the inner being and source. And so as I connect with that source, I just sense what to do. Okay, so the promise of Archangel Uriel is true for everyone. But when the card gets pulled today for Jahan, what it's showing us is that following your inner light is really the only way to go. You may be tempted. There may be a person in your life right now, and your heart is leaning towards the person. It's like wanting them to be something for you, wanting them to have an extra role in your life or to be somehow your person. And yet, on the other hand, you know in your heart of hearts it's just a temporary connection. There's an old quote, you guys may have heard it, where it said, some friendships are for a reason, some are for a season, and some are forever. Okay, so when you're looking for sustainable connection, your inner life and your life with the divine is the most sustainable connection. When you're there, you're going to make better choices. Okay, so Jahan, you know what to do, right? So trust the divine and go forward. Now, how do, sometimes you're like, well, yeah, easy for you to say, I have no idea what to do. Then this is an affirmation that's helpful. Even though I'm uncertain, I want to see the next logical step. Even though I'm not sure what to do, I am trusting the divine to show me the next logical step. Using that format is usually a balancer for you, okay? And as I said, if anyone wants information about having a private reading, I love doing private readings because you can imagine when I can open more than one card for somebody, it's a treat. You can read about the readings I have available over on Etsy, and it's in the description box how to find the Etsy shop. And there's a secret code. The code is ANGEL. Just put that into the window, and you'll be able to see what it is that I am giving to you as a gift just for being on my live with me. Okay, our Fleming. Hello, our Fleming. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. And let's take a peek and see what we have. Beautiful Archangel Raguel. Let's just take a look here. Isn't she gorgeous? As I look at this card, I see, oh, you're so welcome, Shahan. When I look at this card, I see light. And I also see, all right, I sense conflict. And I feel like Archangel Raguel today is really offering a big hug to the people who feel shy about being open at home about your spirituality or about your philosophy, because some people are not religious at all and they don't align with religious language, but they love the idea of the Stoics, the idea of operating within thoughts and how thoughts can create moods. And sometimes when you're with your family, they don't understand you at all when you talk about these things, and they may feel like you are a little bit out there, too much on the airy fairy side of things. So I believe Archangel Raguel today is here saying that they are working for you. Okay, they are doing you can't see or feel the work of the angels within your family, but they are softening hearts, and they're causing the people in your family to see you in a different way. This relationship harmony that's coming your way, our Fleming, is due to the angelic realm. So, what is the only thing you need to do? Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Write down the names of the people in your family who just don't get you. And I'm going to do this today too, for sure. Because there are people in my family, they just don't get me. And I get frustrated, but it's not their fault, and probably not my fault either. But write down the names of the people who don't get you. Then write down three things up next to each name that start with the sentence, I love. Okay, so let's say the person who annoyed you yesterday. Thank you, R. Fleming. But let's say you have three people that got on your last nerve just this last week. Okay, so um, as you think about things that you love about them, right? I love their sense of style. I love where they live. I love how neat their desk is. I love how much they care about animals. You can love things about a person that are very soft and easy. You may not like their politics, but they may have great nails, and you can think to yourself, I love her nails. I love the way she deals with customers, whatever it is. So, again, for those of you, I just want to review that quick. Write down a list of the people that get on your last nerve and try your best to love something about them. Whoopsie, that is very much in the gratitude family, because when you love things, you are grateful for them. Okay, so let that be a blessing for you, my dear R. Fleming, and enjoy the angels. And you probably know too, having worked with the angels, that Googling Archangel Raguel will for sure deepen this message for you. So if you're visiting me today, it's first time here, welcome. I'm Catherine. This is Tarnished Angel Tarot. Why do I call it Tarnished Angel? Because I started to have a more pleasurable life when I began to embrace my tarnish. If you find an old silver teapot in an antique store and you bring it home and you scrub the tarnish off, it shines like a mirror sometimes. However, it can be really hard to hold that shiny self to the world because tarnish is a natural thing. So when we celebrate our flaws and celebrate the things that make us different from people, we become softer, and people are more attracted to us, which I love. I love that about the messages from the angels. Josanja, oh, I just love you guys that come back. Thank you, thank you. It just blesses me so much. Those of you who revisit, thank you. Hit that thumbs up. What that does is it just tells YouTube that you guys love these readings, and then more people are informed about them. So thank you so much for the love. Let me write your name on, Johandra. You can tell I'm doing better this week with my technology. Last week I had all kinds of issues, so I'm glad it's going more smoothly today. And Deepika, okay, so now sometimes people come to the readings with a particular agenda. They really want to hear an answer. In a collective reading like this, it's not so much about the specific answer for what, I mean, that's not my position here. When we do private readings and I can draw 9 or 10 cards, there's just more guidance. But for today, though, when it comes to your turn to have a reading, hold in your heart the thing that you're wanting wisdom about, and I will draw the card, and that may have to do exactly with your question, but for sure it's a blessing for you. Because remember, as you're trying to attract love or a new career, whatever it is that you're desiring, your ability to Stay connected to your inner source, to that place within you where the divine is connected, to where you're connected to the divine. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time more and more often. And yes, maybe the person that you're thinking about will be your partner, but maybe not, because what we want is to be soul satisfied by what it is that is our imprint, what the divine has placed in us to make us fulfilled. Wayne Dyer, I love when he talked about that there's a divine call on our life, and that our goal is to keep walking forward to our best self. Okay, so anyway, we are at Johandra, and so let me jump in here. If you've just joined us today, please feel free to drop a comment into the stream so that I know, and I'd be happy to draw a card for you. So Johandra, let's see what we have. Oh, Archangel Metatron. I recently read that Archangel Metatron is the angel that sits at the hand of God. Now, as what I like to do is just share what I do personally to help myself stay upbeat and hopeful. I understand that gratitude and love are the target emotions that I want to have, and I know it works to magnetize and make my life flow with the law of attraction. However, what do you do on a bad day? What do you do if you're sad or if you're angry? How do we process that? And that's a real important thing for me, because I have as many opportunities for disappointment as anyone else. So many times, if a card comes up in my personal draw, like Metatron, I'll Google it myself. And that's how I found out that Metatron sits at the hand of God. So this one for you, Johandra, this week is that there is something that's been kind of bugging you, kind of on your mind. There's a task or a meeting or a phone call. Something's been just nagging you from the inside. So it's time to do an audit, or just a good look at what it is that might be causing you to be stuck. So I would suggest that you take out a piece of paper and write down every job or every task that it is that you want to accomplish this week, because it's Sunday, and write them all down in a list, and then just go through there and rank from 1 to 10 on how important they are. This can be a really helpful way to just declutter your mind. After you go through your list and rank from 1 to 10 how important all the tasks are, pick out the 10 and the 9 and just write them onto a separate list. Even dividing up your list like that will bring you some peace. And then for this week, choose just one of those tasks to get done. And then ask Archangel Metatron to be the one facilitating. The Archangel Metatron is right there next to God and will bring you the wisdom that you need. Okay? So thank you. Thank you so much, Johandra, for being here this week for these readings. And now I'm going to quick draw a card for the collective, but I just want to say you're welcome, Sanja. And be sure to email me with your with questions or your results, you guys, because I would love to hear from you. Tarnished Angel tarot@gmail.com. And I need to add that to my about information so you guys have an easier time getting a hold of me. Because when you write to me with a question, many times I can create a reading about that theme and share it out there for everyone. All right. If you've just joined me today, I'm Catherine at Tarnished Angel Tarot, and we're doing Archangel readings today. So if you'd like a card, add a comment so that I know you're here, and I'd be happy to draw a card for you. If you're just joining now, when I post, I'm going to put timestamps for all of the archangels of the reading. So I encourage you to take a peek later and see what the angels are having to say to us today. What is the theme? The theme is creating sustainable connections. I have found over my work with finding soulmates, which is over 20 years now, that it's really hard. I don't understand it. I meet the most wonderful people with beautiful life stories and so much to bring to a relationship, but they can't find a partner. 51% of the women in the US are single. 51%. And many of them are at peace. Personally, I'm single right now. I'm in between, but I'm really relishing and treasuring my own time and my own life. And I feel sad when people feel incomplete without a partner. And so over time, I stopped using words like soulmate or true love or twin flame because they're just frustrating to me and to the people who come for readings. However, the word sustainable connection, a connection that lasts. Isn't that what we really want with a boss or with a friend, with a family member? We want sustainability. So we are asking the archangels today to give us clues. How can we become more sustainable in our relationships? How do we find people that get us and give us grace to be ourselves? And how do we get along with people that might be quite different? So for the collective, let's grab a card here. If you'd like a reading, please add. Um, yes, oh, I love that. Continuity of unity. I have to write that down. Continuity of unity. Oh, that's beautiful. Thank you. Because that's so true. And a lot of times, we have illusions like we need to have this or we need to have that to be happy, when the reality, unity is so satisfying at a soul level. And how do we sustain that? So for the collective, we are looking at Archangel Raphael, breathe. Oh, yes, yes, yes. In fact, let's all take a couple. In fact, right now, those of you on the call, please put your hand on your heart. And as if your palm is breathing into your heart, take a breath. And another one. And I'm going to share an affirmation here for the collective that is from Louise Hay. And she has passed away many years ago now. However, YouTube keeps her alive. Her voice is insanely comforting. Her meditations are deeply changing. I mean, they're deeply comforting and they do change you. And so definitely take a peek at her today. One of her affirmations that's changed me, so go ahead and keep your hand right on your heart and just repeat this after me. I am 100% willing to release the patterns in me that are creating the opposite of what I want. I am 100% willing to release the patterns in me that are that are attracting the opposite of what I want. Isn't that great? So breathing is the way we connect with that inner divine. I like to think of myself as compared to a dolphin when I think about breathing, because dolphins have to consciously breathe. I mean, they have to surface to breathe. You and I don't have to surface to breathe. It just happens. However, if you're a person who's experienced some trauma in your past, if you have PTSD, or if you're socially awkward, you might have a habit that is very critical for self-concept, and that is holding your breath. I do. When I get panicky, I have issues with trauma because of a childhood accident that happened when I was around 2 years old, so many years ago. But that accident in my family was so terrifying that I overreact even today to certain stimuli like loud noises. I will jump out of my skin. It's just part of what I've needed to deal with over time. So there are times I hold my breath when I'm startled. And Gay Hendricks, there's a book called The Big Leap, strongly recommend. He says that the only difference between fear and excitement is the breath. When you're afraid, you hold your breath. When you're excited, you breathe. Okay? So the idea of the breath and taking a breath when you're feeling upset will absolutely connect you again to the divine. And when you're connected to the divine, you're going to be connected to people. Here's another tip. This is a crazy tip. I can't believe it, but it works. When you're flooded with a negative emotion, like being furious, some people have a rage reaction. They just overreact, or they have a fear reaction that's just bigger than what's going on, and you don't know what's happening. Lay down. Lay down on the ground if you can. Lay down on a couch, the floor, or a bed, because there's research out there that shows if your body is in a flat position, it's confused because you're really angry or you're really afraid, but your body is laying down as if it's resting. And this creates kind of this problem for the brain because it's trying to figure out what's going on here. And you're going to find that you will calm yourself. Isn't that cool? So, anyway, big message here from Archangel Raphael, Archangel of healing and restoration, and a good reminder. This is why yoga is so good and meditation, simply because you turn into a spiritual dolphin and you're taking breaths on purpose. Okay? Very cool. Now, anybody want a reading? Here, reading, there, reading, everywhere, a reading. If you're here and you'd like one, drop a card. If not, I'm going to draw another card for the collective from the archangels on how to get connected, first with ourselves and then with others. Taking a sip of my coffee first. Okay, excellent. If you're just here for the first time, thank you so much for visiting. Be sure to tap the thumbs up and subscribe so that you can come back when I do these live readings, and invite the angels this time. Sometimes we invite other decks and wisdom into these live readings, but today it's our Archangel deck. And what's really cool about these readings is this deck is no longer in print, and it makes it even more rare and special to do the readings. So for the collective, what is it we can do to feel more connected in our lives? Oh, love this one. The moon cycles, Archangel Haniel. Now, Archangel Haniel has made 3 visits in this reading, no lie. So definitely want to Google Archangel Haniel today if you are watching this reading. There is a message there that's special. And in fact, I plan to do the same thing. So Archangel Haniel, making the 3rd visit today in this reading, is bringing us into the appreciation of moon cycles. If you've just joined me, welcome. Please add a comment. I'll be glad to draw you an Archangel card. But this card is, look at the blue. The blue is this soft throat chakra reminder. It's so important that we speak our truth in our world. And there are times when it's very difficult to do that because you don't want to disappoint anybody. You don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And yet, if you don't speak your truth in love, you will start to have symptoms of anxiety because it doesn't feel good to hold things back. So you might be somebody that chews your fingernails, or you might you know how some people move their foot or they have nervous twitches that happen? You'll notice that if your body is ill at ease, chances are you're feeling a little bit of anxiety, and chances are you need to tell somebody something. It could be a family member, it could be a boss, but if there's something in your world that's not working for you, there's a way for you to find a way to tell. Now, how do we pull in the moon energy here? The reason I like to use the moon energy when I'm having a hard time speaking up is because the moon is the energy of the divine feminine. The divine feminine is not afraid to speak up. She knows her power. She knows her strength. and she speaks fearlessly. So when it is that you're recognizing, I wish I could say that, but it might hurt their feelings, I would say an affirmation like this: even though I'm not sure how to tell this person what it is that they need to know, I'm trusting my angels to support me. Even though I don't want another month to go by without speaking my truth, and I feel pressured about that, the truth is I can rely on my angels to support me. When you're needing extra wisdom to speak your truth with love, try the Divine Feminine. There are so many wonderful YouTubes on the Divine Feminine. All you have to do is pop it into the search window. So I would do that if you're feeling that it's difficult to speak your truth. Okay. Also, there's 3 doves floating around this angel. So I'm just thinking that something within the next 3 days, hello, Kavita, welcome. I think something within the next 3 days is going to give you a real sense of power and shift. Okay, so keep your eye peeled on that. If you are just joining me, I'm going to put timestamps in this reading so that you can find all of the angel messages that we've done so far today. These are all of the beautiful cards that we've done, and I want to make it really easy for you all to find these readings, so I will do that. Kavita, I'm happy to draw you a card. Introducing myself, I'm Catherine at Tarnished Angel Tarot, and you can find out all about me in the About tab. And let me see here. What we're doing today is we're drawing cards about creating connection, to make a connection that lasts in your life. If you're looking for a partner, that would be true in the partnership, but it also is true with family and with friends. So, Kavita, when you are looking for what's coming toward you, again, the energy of the reading is about connection. So, when it comes to what's coming toward you, who and what is it that you can radiate to get connected to the next important people on your journey? Okay. And so what we have is Archangel Gabriel. Oh, I just love her so much. So this is showing us, Kavita, that you have leadership potential. And it looks to me like you may be feeling a bit insecure, that you're not quite sure that you could be a leader. You may be young in your social group or in your family, and people haven't recognized your leadership. When I see the trumpet, and she's not holding her trumpet. So, what that shows me is that you have leadership tools that you're not aware of. There's things that you know how to do, perhaps you stopped doing them in the past. You put something down that is a part of your natural giftedness. The orange of her dress is the color of the sacral chakra. The sacral chakra, and that is the color of. That's also the sacral chakra is the chakra of our sexuality, of course, but also creativity. Okay, so this is really calling me to give you that piece of advice to do a little bit of work on healing of your creative spirit. It seems to me that somebody in your past may have said something that hurt your feelings or made you stop doing something. But you know what, Kavita? You have talent and you have the ability to help and guide others. You could be a teacher, or perhaps a nurse, maybe a social worker, or perhaps you are being called to go to school and to become more trained in something. But it is definitely time for you to step up into leadership in your own life. Now, that always starts with you, any human. They start with your higher self. See the glow of light coming from behind this angel? That is really significant of that connection to the divine, the glow. All right. So I think as you step forward into learning how to be a leader, trust that your inner guidance is right there. And it is a glow up for you. People are starting to recognize your own that you are a leader. And so don't turn down opportunities if people want to lift you up and put you in charge of things. Okay, Kavita, you are so welcome. And also, if any of you are wanting a private reading, I'm available, and you'll find my Etsy shop is in the description. There is a secret code. It's the word angel. So as you read through the different readings, if you find one you like, use the word angel in the code. They give you a little spot to put that in, and you'll see the gift that I have for you, just thanking you for being here and spending your time with me. Who else would like a reading? I would love to draw a card for you. All you have to do is add a comment. Let me know you're here. Thank you so much for hitting the subscribe and coming back for these readings, and also the thumbs up. As I told people earlier, when the thumbs up happens, it's like a hug, and I feel your love. So thank you for that. I'm going to pick a different card here for the collective. Going to be reading here for about another 15 minutes. So feel free to add a comment so I can draw an Archangel card for you. Hello, Doctor. May you have a live reading. Yes, because I'm alive and so are you. So, Doctor, welcome to the call. I mean, I always say that because I'm so used to doing teleseminar, but welcome to this video. And what this reading is, what we're working on is connection. Connection to lovers, connection to friends, connection to family. Most of the people that find their way to my readings are just a little bit different. Some of us have a hard time believing in our own gifts, or we have a hard time finding people who get us, right? Who really understand and want to be there for us. So the purpose of today's reading is about creating that connection, and first with our inner being to the source within, and then to the humans that we really want to be connected to. So Doctor, let's take a look which Archangel card is going to be pulled today. So as you are getting ready to receive your reading, just think about in your mind, just pull up your desire for wisdom and guidance, and then let's see how the angels answer. And we have the children and Archangel Metatron. Okay, first of all, Doctor, Archangel Metatron, this is the second time that Archangel has shown up here in this reading, so I'm going to post this with timestamps, and you might want to listen to the other Metatron message to get a full reading for yourself. But the first thing I'll say also here is that Archangel Metatron is the angel that sits right next to God. That's what legend has. And so because of that, there's an intimacy there. And because the children card has shown up here, there's a couple of ways to look at this card. The first one is that you might actually work with children. You might have a call to work with children. You could be a teacher. If you are a doctor, you might be a pediatrician. But the fact is that Archangel Metatron wants to use that this message of children in a different way also. Of course, this has to do with how much we learn from children. And the children that are born today are significantly advanced in their perception than we were as children. This is true of every generation. 500 years ago, they did not know how to name indigo and crystal children. But I will guarantee you that 5 generations ago, there were kids that uprooted the system. There were kids that did not like to obey the rules. I don't think that indigo and crystal children are just like a special breed for today. So you may have been one of these. You may have been a prodigy where people expected so much from you, Doctor, over time, and that you were maybe more mature than the actual adults that were in your world. A lot of people grow up like that, and it can be disconcerting as an adult. However, the other meaning of this is what inside of you needs to be revived. What part of you could be more playful, could be more simple, and really getting back to childlike joy. This reading for some people is the most important thing. Adulting can be a joy thief. I'm going to say that again. Adulting can be a joy thief. Why? Because there's so much disappointment and discouragement in the world. And when you have an open heart for wanting to enjoy life, you wouldn't be watching readings if you and I weren't on the same track with wanting to live our best life, right? People try to do that, and the disappointments and discouragements just steal the joy from them. So Metatron comes to remind us that finding pleasure and playful things to do is absolutely critical to creating connection with other people. If you're grumpy, who wants to be with you? If you're overreactive, who wants to be with you, right? So children have their tantrums and they have their crying fits, but then they walk away and go play with a set of blocks, right? Or they color, or they go outside and catch butterflies. So what I would say the message is here is to be sure to include your inner child in whatever you're doing right now. Again, I mentioned Louise Hay. She is a fabulous teacher, passed away now, but thank you, YouTube, for making her meditations available to us. She has many teachings on the inner child. I strongly recommend. You will not be disappointed. Okay. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the children that you touch, whether they're itty bitty short people or they're adults with a childlike heart that needs restoration. Absolutely, doctor. Connect to your inner child. Tons of YouTube videos out there, but I would shoot for Louise Hay. And also, who else was? I would just shoot for her first because YouTube will give you lots of references. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you guys for being here. I'm going to pull another card for the collective here. If this is your first time here, remember that if you need a private reading, you want to go to my Etsy shop, and you'll find that secret code is Angel. Just type that into the reward, into that window. I forget what it says, and it'll give you a discounted reading for just as a thank you for showing up and supporting me here on YouTube, because I really appreciate it. I love being kind of like the queen of misfits, the sister of the socially awkward, because I have social awkwardness. I am not shy about telling people about it. It's not a negative, it's a positive, because as I've learned to deal with it, the closest friends that I have that are able to, when they get me, and my social awkwardness doesn't make me go into a clamshell, then there's some really good connections possible. But I am the kind of person that has a small inner circle, and that's what makes me feel most comfortable. But with YouTube, you guys are part of that, and I love spending my Sundays with you. So let me pull a card for the collective here. I have time for like 2 more cards. If you're here and you'd like one, please go ahead and put a comment in. I'm happy to read for you. And for the collective, oh, this is a beautiful card. And I might just let this card close the reading, because this is what it's all about. I was born Catholic, and I spent many years as a born again Christian and taught Bible study, and then moved on 20 years ago into, or more than 20 now, into a deeper spiritual understanding. So what I used to call the Holy Spirit in my Christian days, I understand now to be the energy of God, the power of God, the part of God that touches me here. Sensations are part of what I used to know as the Holy Spirit. I was a person who experienced being slain in the Spirit. I experienced speaking in tongues. There are a lot of things about my spiritual life that were very real to me. But when I needed to shift, it was so clear. I was directed from the internal place of me to start a new adventure into spiritual reality. So right now I'm just more global, and I appreciate religions of all types, and I work with what I call energy. So for me, as I've shifted, I will speak more about energy than I will about religious terms, just because that's where I am right now. And Archangel Raziel, I thank you for bringing this wonderful promise that We don't have to use religion as our only way to understand spiritual things, and that energy is real. There is, for example, goosebumps, shivers, yawns often happen when spirit is moving in your body. And so spiritual understanding includes physical experiences. When we're working at trying to connect with people, and that's what the whole theme of this last hour or almost an hour has been, is the idea of creating lasting connection. We have to learn how our body processes information. Spiritual understanding is more physical than you think. As some of you who have been listening to my readings for a while, you like my voice. People tell me that. There's something about your voice. It's very calming and soothing. It's a physical experience. If you read my words and I did not speak, you would have a different experience. But because you're involving a physical sense with these energetic truths, it's hypnotic. It draws you in. And so learning how to be connected to your inner being, to your own, I'm going to say the word matrix. I don't know why, but if you look at this card, he's holding up that star. So we are needing to hold that structure of what it is we believe our energy can do. So I'm so excited. Thank you for joining me on this beautiful adventure today through our cards, remembering that we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards pulled today. And I'm going to put them all under timestamps so you can review them. I'm just thanking the archangels for being with us today, for granting us this time, these beautiful messages. And as this week goes forward, we'll meet up with you next week on Sunday morning. I'll be back and we'll do another reading with a different deck. And I hope that when you come back, you're going to be able to let me know about some connection success, that you met someone new or somebody treated you differently, that you found yourself in the right place at the right time. That is my mission. I want you to have more and more of right place, right time experiences. So hugs and kisses. Bye to you all, and watch for the next live. Thank you so much for your time and attention. Be sure to check out my Etsy shop, and thank you for subscribing. Love you guys.